Motion to approve the minutes as written.
I have a motion to approve the minutes as written. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is accounts. There's no vote required. If you agree on minutes on it too?
Normally we just put them together.
Okay.
Thursday, I'll amend that to include all the minutes presented.
I have a motion to amend that we approve both sets of minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by aye. All opposed signify by no. Motion carries. Approve both sets of minutes. Okay. Next item is accounts. There's no vote required on accounts. If you have any questions about any of our accounts, please give us the page and the line item. Any questions on the accounts? Okay, next item on the agenda is delegations. If there's anybody here that would like to address the board on any city business, please come forward. We have a couple people here that's on line items on the agenda, but if you have any other reason to address it, please come forward. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I'm not here to make any accusations against anybody or to be involved about anything, but I'm here just so that I can make a public statement to the city council, because I think this does, as the city council and everybody in Henderson should know what I'm going through. I've been living here for 7.5 years, the 8 years of September. The house I'm living in, I haven't had water or kitchen floor in 2 months. Now, I'm not complaining about that. That's not why I'm here. What I'm here for is because the landlord's stressed because he don't want to fix it. He's threatened to send the police to my house. He's done that twice already because I went and been with $5,000 with the future rent payment. And another reason, because he couldn't contact me when I first moved in there. But that was said. The public statement that I'm here to make, it's just so it's public, and that I'm saying this, and this is gospel truth, whether anybody believes it or not, I say it's true. I've never, not ever, since I've lived there, ever tried to stop him from collecting his rent. First 6 years, I delivered it to him in Selma because he had a hard way to go. His car wasn't, I didn't feel his car was fit to even drive. And I'm just here to tell the county or the city that I'm working. I'm trying to get out of there. I'm disabled, and I'm going to have a hard time finding another place because of my disability. I'm going to hire somebody to move me, which is okay. But finding a place, especially with my dog, it's going to be almost impossible. And so I'm just making a statement because now he's saying that he's going to use it. I'm refusing to pay the rent. That's not true. I've sent him 6 messages on the 28th of February. No, I called him 6 times. I sent him 2 text messages to make arrangements for him to get his rent. The code says that I can fix the place and charge it back to the rent. But the code also says until the money's paid to fix it, I'm still liable for rent. I know this, and like I said, I'm just here to let the city know that I have done everything I can do to make sure that man gets his rent paid until I can find another place to live. And I ask your help on this matter. I don't want anything special from you guys, just let you know and make that statement public. And I'm looking for an attorney in case I have any, but it's hard to find an attorney because it's a small little item like this. It's really
For the record, what, did you say your name? I didn't get it.
Oh, I apologize, ma'am, I didn't. My name is Glenn Rainey.
Glenn
Glenn
Rainey,
Rainey. I live at 298 Plum Street, their old house.
290 Plum,
298 Plum.
298 Plum.
Yeah, and anybody familiar with that house, they'll see it looks like rad. I started, when I first moved in there, I started supporting the awning by enclosing the front porch. And he called the police on me, and after that I said, that's still sitting like the studs are still there. The awning's not going to fall now, so I left it alone. I got 90% of the siding And maybe, I mean, if my figures are right, it's like 3 more pieces to finish the house. But we're not quick, you know, I just quit trying to do anything.
Who's your landlord?
Pardon me?
Who's the landlord?
His name is Rick Henderson, he lives in Selma. His mother, he inherited the house from his mother, her name was Ferris, Lois Ferris. I think maybe I shouldn't even mention this, but I'm going to anyways. And the only reason I did it was to keep somebody from swooping in there and taking his property. But I've paid the taxes on that property since I moved there. First time it was almost $2,000 for back taxes. Not because I'm such a nice guy, because I didn't want somebody to come in there and swoop and take the property and I'd have to move.
As the renter, you paid the property tax?
Yes, ma'am, and took it out and got my money back as a tax-free loan from the future rents.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
In lieu of your rent.
And little mama, but also, I put a $800 heater in the window heater in because the furnace blew up. I paid $2,000 to get all the dead trees cut down and pushed back. I didn't ask him for anything because I could afford it and he couldn't, to be honest with you. So it's not like I haven't made an effort, but I'm just, you know, when he tells me he's going to put in, and to be honest with you, and I'm not complaining, it's just the way it is. If the Chief Davidson told me, yeah, he can do that. The police can show up my house anytime.
Yes, sir.
Anytime they want to. It's not for America anymore.
Well, I think you are certainly, I mean, I'm glad you told us this, but yes, sir, if you can find an attorney to at least help you
I've
get
been working on it.
situated, that
I've
would
been
be
working,
good.
I contact every attorney in this town, and they don't want to touch it, I'm still looking.
Yes, sir. But
Like I
yes,
said, I'm not trying to use an attorney against him, I'm just
No.
trying to protect myself.
I understand, but do understand that Chief Davidson absolutely told you the truth, that if they get called, that gentleman still owns that home, and so,
To clarify what was said, the call we got was a welfare check, so I thought when we get those welfare checks, we're gonna make those calls to make sure he's okay, and that's what I told him.
okay.
You know,
And that's a good thing.
all due respect, Chief, as I told you the other day, the man lied. There was a reason why he called. Well, the first reason was because I changed phones, and it was about 3 or 4 days before the rent was due, and he thought I was trying to stiff him, I guess. I don't know. The second time is because I wouldn't lend him $5,000 in lieu of future rent, like I've been doing for the taxes, and another loan that I made for him, $2,000 in lieu of a personal loan, with no interest. So I guess because I try to be kind to the man, he's gonna continue to try to, whatever, I don't know. You know, I'm no judge of this man.
Well, as far as the police department's concerned, that's a civil matter. We don't get involved in
I
that.
just,
So we will be there to make sure you're okay if he calls, and that's the reason we'll be there.
that's fine.
And that's a good thing.
I got nothing to hide from the police. But I just wanna make a public statement that I have contacted him, and as far as the rent goes. That he already told me he's gonna use that as his down, I'm refusing to pay the rent, which is untrue.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
thanks, sir.
appreciate y'all.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the city on any other issue dealing with the city? Okay. Next item on the agenda is item D. Discuss and consider an action requesting annexation of 10-acre tract of vacant land by the owner, First Farmers Co-op. The tract is located at the rear of the existing facility on East Main Street. What we'll do first is we'll have a public hearing, and which you can talk on any of the 3 things. One is the zoning, one is the plan of service, and one is the approval of the annexation. It's 3 different things we have to do, and you can discuss that. Before we do that, I'm gonna let Brent kind of give you a quick synopsis of what this is about.
Yes, sir. Sometime, I believe in 2021, it may have even been a little bit before that, we discussed a fertilizer building going up on the property behind the co-op. I think I talked with Matt on that, and he had told what they were planning on doing. And at that time, the property was outside the city limits, and it wasn't zoned correctly for the commercial use they were putting there. So later in the year, 2021, I had some discussion with Will Quinn of Quinn Construction about what would be necessary to get this project moving. I think Adam gave me a call, Adam Ledsinger from MV Engineering, wanted to know what would be required for a site plan, and we discussed annexation. The annexation request came from Co-op, basically November of last year, 11/22. The Plan Commission looked at that in December. They took no action. They wanted to review it some more. So we talked with utilities. In the meantime, our planner from local planning got together the plan of service, the annexation request. He did the write-up on that, and the zoning. So come back in January of '23, the Plan Commission reviewed this request and made a positive recommendation to send that to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. One thing that came out of the Planning Commission was that usually a development, the person doing the development paid for the extensions of utilities, streets. So we had a meeting January the 25th with members of the co-op and staff here at City Hall with the department heads, basically to kind of talk about that and review what they were going to do, what they actually needed. 2/24 of '23, received an email from Rob White, and he said that the board of directors of co-op had agreed to do something to help out with the utility extensions. So that brings us to this date today, 3/9 of '23. We're here at the mayor and the board, and like I said, there's a couple here that could probably answer any kind of technical questions or why and what if better than I could.
Is anyone here besides the people representing the co-op that have any pro or con against this annexation? I guess would be the best way to put it. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. This time I ask the representatives of the co-op and the engineer if they come forward, and we'll turn it over to the board and ask any questions y'all want to ask them on that. I think Jim's, I think involved in that was Brent, Darrell, Doug.
All about that.
He was out of town, Jim missed that. But, and then I don't keep, so we were all involved, and then we were all involved in that discussion, so if y'all have any questions to them on the plan of services, Darrell, I'll let you do that, because you're the one that did the utilities.
If you go down Rebecca Drive, there's a number of other buildings down Rebecca Drive. That was where several, I think the county had a building down there. There is a vacant lot that's owned by the county. And so if that were to build out, we would need services down at the end of that portion of that drive anyway. This would require going further than what we would have normally done, and we did an estimate on running an 8-inch line off the existing 8-inch. It is on the side of the property that co-op is on, side of the street, so there's not going to be a requirement to do a highway bore or a street bore or anything like that. Estimated cost to run that line down there and add 2 fire hydrants, one about halfway down, and the other one at the end of the line was about $72,000. And that would be a standard estimate like we were contracting it out. And we might could possibly do that in-house, just depends on timing or whatever, but it looks like about 72,696 was my estimate to extend that down to the back of where this property's being developed.
And what was they agreed to help out or to do?
At the current time, we were to try and do half. During our meeting, that amount was roughly $40,000.
And also, I think Doug sit down, we talked about, I think, Carter, were you there too? We was talking about the street. I think we were planning on running the street further, but y'all had changed where I'll let you explain what we changed there, that we didn't bring the road near as far. And we're gonna have to do a P turnaround in there for the fire trucks and stuff, and we're probably use some of the county property, you know, and I think that's what we planned on, using some of the county property to do the P turnaround, correct?
That's correct. We revised, I'm Adam Ludsinger, I'm the engineer. We revised our plan so that we would not come in at the back of, was that Rebecca? Rebecca Drive, and we would come in through the existing co-op site, behind where their existing building is now, and it's in front of, what is that, that's there now?
Our current, what's there is the bulk chemical site.
Yeah, in front of their bulk chemical site, and then go into the 10 acres at the back. So in essence, we cut a couple hundred feet off of what we want to extend on the roadway. We still would have to have the water because of fire requirements.
Sure.
And we're, I think, gas, we'll extend the gas, that was not what we will do that. And then, of course, the street, we paved some of the street, Jimmy Carter earlier, but we're gonna extend it on down and probably have to widen it some. So just also do the peak, is that what we plan to do with the peak turnaround, wasn't it?
I believe that's correct.
I think that's what we all agreed on, to do the peak turnaround so the fire trucks and stuff like that and garbage, everything can turn around down there. So that's kind of where we are right now. And we discussed that, and I think that the 40,000, I feel the 40,000 is a very fair offer to us on the utility. I think we're, because one fire hydrant we probably need anyway there, and the second one is adding on for them and extending down. So I think what they offer is a very fair offer.
Yeah, one item probably needed, been needed, so it'd be great.
So all the details, y'all are all in agreement with all the details, and what about the zoning folks?
The zoning, if it's annexed into the city, the zoning will be the same as what the co-op and the area in the city at that location and surrounding it would be, which is an M3. It allows industrial and retail.
Yeah.
Or
And
like
they're
house
happy
like
with
two
it.
buildings.
Correct. If it was the county, it did not, correct.
But they're all happy, no questions, no conflicts.
I've not heard anything different.
Okay.
It's just the state makes you jump through about 28 steps for
Yeah.
something that everybody wants to do.
Right.
But-
It's nice when everybody's happy.
Okay,
I was wondering
thanks.
if we didn't, we agreed.
Well, does anybody have any other questions they want to ask? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to consider the first one would be the zoning, which would be an ordinance.
No, they got the headache.
The next zoning, yeah, the zoning of the
We have
annexation area.
Plan of service.
Plan of service.
Plan of service, you got it different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plan of
Consider
service.
adopt, number 2, consider adopt a resolution approving the plan of services. And that's what we discussed with what we're going to do with the water, what we're going to do with the road, and what they're going to do. I'll entertain a motion on that resolution.
I make the motion to approve the proposed plan of service.
And that motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion on that resolution? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Phelps? Yes. Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Maines?
Yes.
All voted in favor.
Okay, well, number 3 would be to consider the resolution to approve the annexation. Before all this change in annexation laws, this will be an ordinance, but now it is a resolution. So we won't have to do one reading on this, so I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, a little different.
Make that motion.
Have a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the resolution for annexation? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Maines?
Yes.
All voted in favor.
Okay, and the last one is consider and the ordinance to change the zoning to M3. Can I have a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
No motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Mr. Either one.
Stumble.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Maines?
Yes.
All voted in favor.
All vote in favor. Since this was an ordinance, we gotta have a second reading. Since everybody voted in favor, we can take the second reading. Well, I need another motion.
I make a motion that we consider for a second reading the ordinance to change the zone.
I have a motion to approve the zoning on the second reading. Do I have the second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Phelps? Yes. Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Manus?
Yes.
All voted in favor.
Okay. Okay, Brett, what's the next step?
I have no idea.
And it's not much, I've been on the board 15 years, been mayor 15 years. This is our first annexation since all the changes in annexation. This is the first one. Because nobody wants to be annexed.
Nobody
Wants to be annexed. That's the whole purpose of changing it, and make it really hard to annex. So,
In the old days, there used to be a 30-day waiting period before it was actual final, but in the new rules, it is complete tonight.
so we are, technically that is, what would we, we will send, what would we send to the state on changing the flag?
We have to notify about 10 different
Everybody.
offices. At the state level, the county level, and,
Now, question, the county commission doesn't have to vote on it.
no,
There's some things the county commission has to vote
if you
on.
go outside your urban growth boundary, the county commission would have to approve any annexation. As long as we're in the urban growth boundary, they do not have to approve.
This has been different.
I do have to notify the county mayor, I have to notify the county tax assessor, I have to notify the state, they call it, used to be the planning office, the comptroller's office. There's 2 or 3 other state organizations we have to notify.
Is anything y'all need to ask us or anything, or?
We appreciate it. We'll see you at the planning commission.
Yeah, on behalf of the co-op and the board of directors and all members, we appreciate it. I mean,
I have to
We
admit,
appreciate it.
appreciate y'all working with us, and,
it basically allows us to keep us to it here, Dennis.
we appreciate it.
Oh, we're thrilled about that.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is item E. Consider adoption of a resolution to approve the application in local match for a community development block grant for the purchase of a new fire pumper. The total project cost is $494,112 with a local match of $74,117. This is just allowing us to apply for that grant. Doug, you got anything you want to add to it?
I believe the resolution is the last step we need where Ms. Davis can go forward. We've already done the surveys that she requested and all that's been completed probably 2 months ago.
This is something we apply for, try to apply for every year. We've just not been too lucky, but we apply for it every year, almost every year. I need a motion for the resolution.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2023003 to apply for this grant.
Have a motion to apply for the resolution. Have a second.
Second.
Have seconds. Any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, roll call vote please. It's a resolution.
Mr. Phelps? Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Manus?
Yes.
All voted in favor.
There's no pressure on you, Doug, since this is the first one you apply for. No pressure on you. Next item is item F. Consider adoption of resolution 2023-04 to approve the application for local match for a local park and recreation grant for improvement at Gene Record Memorial Park, including a new playground, pavilion, and new restrooms. The total project cost is $1,026,000 with a local match of $513,000. If y'all remember, this is one we're using the ARPA money for our match, y'all.
Yep.
Anything changing on those plans?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
Yeah.
The original amount budgeted was 500,000, this is 513, so it's possible we may have to come up with that extra 13 out of the general fund. Because I think there may be a small amount left in ARP, but don't hold me to that.
It's very small.
It's a very, very small.
Yeah.
So just to give you a heads up, of course, normally it may be the fall before we even know about this grant application. This is part of we did the pre-application, now we've gone through that checklist to get all the information they wanted, now this is going to go in with the actual application.
Do we have all our public hearings done on that?
Yes,
All the public hearings are done?
Now, and then we're still running against that timeline to spend that money,
yes,
too.
we are.
Okay,
So, but they still act like we should be able to get it done.
And
okay.
we have to have it appropriated for 24 and spent
Spend
in
out
26.
of 26, a lot of fire under them here.
Well, when it
Let's
gets to the
glad,
saying.
we're not using I'm just glad we're not using ARPA for multimodal.
Well, we never do that. That's beautiful.
All right, at the time I entertain a motion on this resolution.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt that resolution.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have a second, any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Phelps,
Yes.
Mr. Barber,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Butler,
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Manus.
Yes.
All voted in favor.
Resolution passes. Next item is item G, discuss, consider approving a quote for projector and sound system for the new upstairs classroom. I thank Jim, I'll let Jim start, and we have people here representing the company that's put in the bid for it.
Okay, sorry this was not in your packet Tuesday, but I didn't receive it till late this afternoon. There's a single page I handed out to you, which is from MCC Solutions, and it lists some references as far as the projects they've done this type. MCC, of course, they do a lot of other business too, including copiers, etc. But these are actually listing some things they actually put in audio video systems in. We have not dealt with this company in a long time, but they came through, just happened to come through on the right day. And I told them what I needed for this new classroom here on this floor and this wing, and told them what we wanted, and this is the proposal they came up with. They gave us two different proposals, actually. Of the two, I chose option B, and I handed it out to you there. Option B was the projector, the installation. Now, the screen's already included as part of the building, so it's not on this. There's also other equipment to split out the audio and to handle sound. I'm trying to make this as simple as I can because we have so many different organizations. We use our rooms. I want to make it where you come in with your own laptop, you plug in an HDMI, you get everything, and it's all very easily done. The quote on the projector, if you look on about it says page 4 at the bottom, it's more like page 3, is $14,710. Got to thinking we may need a microphone for that room, for people to, a class type microphone. So I went back to them and asked them to prepare me a quote to add that to this system. And it's another $1,638, making a total project cost of $16,348.50. That's a pretty considerable number. We have not got this budgeted as part of the building project, and we've had change orders in the building already. So this really wouldn't be a change order, this would be additional funds I'm asking for, if y'all feel comfortable offering this. Mr. Bo Sage, come on up, Bo, is here with MCC to answer any questions you have, and then y'all can make a decision on what you would like to do concerning this purchase, or whether we need to do something different. I think Mr. Sage, did you tell me you're looking at maybe 8-10 weeks out? Or?
6
to 12 is our typical turnaround, just given the nature of post-pandemic shipping and supply chain issues, but that's our standard operation at the moment.
Okay, so he's here to answer any questions, or you can address the board about the business and your experience here, and we'll go from there.
This is my first ever board meeting, so apologize for. Mr. Garland and I met, and he asked for our design specs and what we would recommend for this new space. This is what we consider a non-virtual conference room design, given the nature that the pandemic has forced a lot of us into WebEx or Zoom or Teams meetings of some sort. This being a non-virtual system is essentially just audio and visual updating, or in this case, implementation of this system. And so because of the build out and the room floor plans that I was given access to looking at, we designed a system that we think would be universal in its approach and ease of use and functionality. Essentially what it is would be a new projector for the screen that has already been purchased, and then all the necessary mounting hardware, amplification, speakers, wireless microphone for presentation, and the necessary cable, and then of course installation for said items. And then as well as an HDMI wall plate access for guests to use your PC so that they can connect to this system and do as I said, non-virtual presentation, local presentations in that space. Everything is a complete system design from top to bottom, so all the labor hours, installation, and parts, and everything that are necessary are there. So this will be a whole system approach, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that.
Did we not ask for virtual capability
No,
or
we did not.
just price prohibitive or?
To tell you the truth, we did not go that route. It's not that you, of course, you could always set a laptop up there on top of the podium and do a Zoom, you know,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be the quality like he's talking about that a lot of facilities are going to for actual presentations with, I'm sure, standalone cameras, et cetera. So that's really nothing that we plan on doing in this room.
The
Okay.
benefit
So,
of design like this would be that in the event that in the future you might like to implement some of those types of features, you can build onto that because the necessary infrastructure is in place. So it's a totally buildable design.
well, we do a lot of interviews for sure that way.
When I started this project, I had no idea what a budget would be. I had no idea what we needed. I mean, I knew I wanted a projector. He did recommend to do a sound splitter before it gets to the projector, where the sound split off and goes to your sound system, improve the sound system quality.
Yeah.
So they seem very capable as far as what they are familiar with and what they do.
Essentially, this is a system that's its ease of use and functionality is any user can come in, plug their PC in, and have a single wall control for the overall output of the room, and then a wireless body pack with a lapel microphone so that they can have intelligible, concise audio throughout the space.
You know, also projectors have changed over a period of time. Can you explain what the projector you told us you were going to do?
Yeah, so this would be a laser projector, and laser has become the new norm now. I'm sure we're all sort of familiar maybe with like LCD projectors or lamp-based projectors in these days of yore. Those types of technologies are diminished substantially because there are moving parts and pieces, analog pieces that are involved in that. And now that we are in this well into the digital age, laser projectors have become the standard. There are no moving parts and pieces. Out of the box, they have 20,000 hour shelf life. That essentially equates to, once you've reached 20,000 hours, then the unit will only put half of its output out. In layman's terms, that means that if I leave a projector on for essentially 24/7 for 8 years, then will it have reached its 20,000 hour life. So that's what it equates to. No maintenance necessary. There are no changing interchangeable parts and pieces for the maintenance factor there. So that's laser projection. So, and better overall image quality, just in general.
5,000 lumens, and he says that's plenty bright for that room. We've got a lot of lumens in there.
We accommodated for the fact that you all have already acquired a 137-inch diagonal screen that's motorized, and it has based on its specs, which is in line with the same units that we carry as a company, your luminosity it far excels the necessary output for that screen projector setup. And given the nature that you have control of your LED lighting that will be put in this place, in this room, I should say. So you've got more than the necessary control in the output.
Because of the cost of this quote, is it necessary to go out for bids, or is it, what's our guidelines? I know we recently.
Back in the
made some
fall, we did amend our bid limit to $25,000. So this would be under the bid limit. Our purchasing policy does state normally we require 3 quotes.
Right.
On items of 5,000, between 5,000 and 25,000. Our policy does require 3 quotes. Now, if you want to go that route, that's y'all's call. But I want to go ahead and present this to you. This is the only quote, or only company I have spoken to about this project.
I don't know how much trouble it's gonna be getting bidding apples to apples and bidding apples to oranges. Sometimes we just think we have a problem on the bid, on what we're quoting. So we're quoting the same thing.
And I don't know how many other vendors that there are out there to do this scope of work.
I can't tell you, I just really are not familiar enough with it. I mean, you know, this is the first that we've had done since we did some work in this room that we were disappointed in, so,
You know, I wandered through the building that I was doing something today that you were here. I stayed for part of what you talked about. It sounded pretty good, but I like the idea of maybe getting somebody else, get a second quote if we can get anybody. That would tell us somebody else may have a slightly different take on what they would do in the room. That might give us an idea. The last thing we want to be is disappointed. And when we do something, I didn't think what you were talking about would disappoint us, but it's not my area and it's new, so it might be good to try to get from some other vendor at least one. If we can get 2 other quotes, great. If we can get another one, that'd be good.
tell me what to do.
I will say, if I may, we are a Memphis-based organization with the Jackson office, been here for 8 years. You will most likely have to go to those larger cities to find other agencies that will be able to do that type of work. We're local folks, serving local folks. That's what we do. That's our organization in a nutshell. And have, you know, served several clients in the Jackson and West Tennessee area in all of our divisions. So if it should so be the case that you guys would like to do a bid system, we would be happy to do consultation on that, just so you know if there is.
Well, I think what we're doing is doing quotes, and I think that's what Jim was needing, the kind of equipment and everything else. So my only fear is when we do these things, I want to make sure we're all bidding the same thing.
Right.
I agree with that.
And that's kind of sometimes the tricky part, to make sure we're bidding the same, everybody's bidding the same thing. Guy comes in with $2,000 or $3,000 less projector, but it's not the same projector. And that's concerns I have.
Well, I'm with you, Alderman Smith. I'd like for us to quote. Just, it never hurts to get a quote. You do.
You can't get one, you can't get one, Bill.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all we
and I
need
was
to do is
thinking,
build it.
we've got a local guy that owns a business. Actually, we have 2. So that would be helpful.
And, yeah, we would have to go out a little bit somewhere to get, I deal with a couple of businesses that MCC works with, not with projectors, but with the copier side of things, and the service has always been good and prompt. That's a plus for MCC.
Yeah, services means everything.
And we're broken up divisionally so that we have service experts in every field. It's not, there's no cross collaboration, so you have dedicated A&B folks who service this area locally.
And I got the sense of what you want to go. Well, Jim and I will get that, and we'll get with you back, because I was going to make sure that we get with you to make sure we're all bidding the same, what we're quoting. The quote, we're not bidding, we're quoting, since of the new policy. So we're making sure everybody's quoting the same price. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is item 8, to consider and approving the purchase the funding for a heavy-duty culvert cleaning tool for the public works department. Carter?
This is something I talked to the mayor about, and it's, actually what it does, it includes the 12-inch, 18-inch, 24-inch, and also a 36-inch cover side is what actually it does. And also you can, if it's bent on the end, you can straighten the cover out with it also.
How many feet? What
It
length
actually
cover?
cleans out, most of our covers are 24, 20, and 30-foot long. This actually cleans out 30 feet of cover, is what it does,
But now-
34 feet.
You add sections, so if you only,
You add sections to
you
it.
need 24, you could have 2 12-foot sections, basically, or? How does that work?
Most of the time, we have like a 24-inch and a 30-foot cover is what we usually have. But what this does, it cleans out 34 feet of cover, is what it does. Once you run it up in there, you pull it back out, that's what it does, it cleans out that much cover.
Is it all one piece or you put sections? What I was asking is,
You put the sections of it together,
so what you need depends, yeah, okay.
and it attaches on the end of the back button.
I watched the video on this product earlier this evening, and it appeared to be very simple, but also being very useful, and especially when you compare to what the price is and what most of the equipment we purchase on a regular basis. To be able to purchase this and use it throughout the city for less than $5,000, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, wow. What was that exact number?
The exact price, estimated price was under $5,000.
$43.9 is what it's on page 8.
$43.99 delivered is what.
I think McCarty brought it to us when we was looking at it. If you look at our streets, a lot of our problems, some of our problems, is our covers, but a lot of them are residence covers that are right away, that when they fill up and they don't let the water pass, it has to get on the street.
Yeah.
If we could get some of these, some 24-inch cover, it might not be 12 inches of clearance in it. If we can do this on some of the bad covers, maybe that'll help us with some of the flow of the water.
You have a picture of it right there, right?
It's in your packet.
Yeah.
Out of range.
There it is. Front and back.
Yeah, it's sort of a strange tool. I haven't seen one, but it's got like wings that fold up as you push in, then they fold out as you pull back. They help pull the debris back toward you, is my understanding. Clark, you watched the video, right?
I mean, I encourage you to go and look at the video. I was like, okay, I was impressed. It was better than what I thought it was going to be. And I know different areas have got a lot of culverts that have been pinched where people have driven over them like that. So when we have these big rains, water winds up in the street instead of going down the ditch like it needs to.
Yeah.
Also, if y'all appropriate this, it's gonna have to come out of undesignated.
Either that or we move paving, one of the two.
Yeah, I was curious if we
Because
could.
he had, when we actually budgeted with his trucks and the ARP,
Right.
no other dollars were budgeted for equipment in his budget.
All the equipment went in that.
All went to the trucks. He has some consumable tools, but it's only a couple $1,000s. It's for like shovels and hoes and chainsaws. It's not for, and it's not enough to cover this. So he doesn't have the money in the existing line to buy this
And
equipment.
you
first.
could, what about street aid?
Neither one.
Okay,
Neither one. You could use it, you could use street aid funds, but there's no money
but
there.
there's no
either.
funds there to do it.
And the only place there's extra funds is normally the street saving line. So, that's the reason I say that's probably the place to pull it, either that or you can buy it out of capital outlay, regular general capital outlay.
Pull it from street aid now, then if we want to, pull it from the paving now, and then if we see before June 30th that we need the dollars for paving, then we can pull it out of general fund at that point.
What have you got planned for paving so far, do you know?
I'm looking at doing Hamlet and back down behind City Drugstore. That's what I got on there, to be milled down and fixed.
What is this? Do we have any ballpark on the north with the repair of the cast iron?
State hasn't approved the ARP money on those projects yet. State had 383 applications for this ARP money. As of last couple of weeks, they've approved about 45 of those. And I don't know where the bottleneck or what's bogged down, but they want to micromanage this they want us to have it engineered before they approve the money for us to spend on the engineer, what kept mousing. So it's really gotten slowed down. They're going at a slower pace. And I've expressed my opinion to state legislatures as people in TDAC and engineering sections. You're going to drag this out and do the citizens of Tennessee a disservice by not getting this money in our hands to improve this aging infrastructure. And had a meeting with them last week, and hopefully we can try to get this back on fast track. They're trying to micromanage it and come down to dotting the i's and crossing the t's on the back end to the point that they're eating up all the time. And these projects have to be done by September of 2026, when you've got pipe deliveries. I looked at some flow meters the other day, and some SCADA type equipment that we've got kind of in our proposal, and they were telling me that these radios for SCADA was 121 months out. So if they don't get on the ball, they're squeezing us to the point that we need to start as a group hammering the commissioner's office, the governor's office, whoever, legislators. They're taking way too much time in trying to micromanage. You know, you can't they're trying to make an engineering decision on something they haven't gave us the approval to do the engineering on. Basically, what I'm saying.
What is the pleasure on the board on the car?
I'll make a motion that we authorize Carter to make that purchase and that we pull the funds from the paving line item.
The journal or street aid? You can come and
I think general, yeah.
General.
Okay, I have a motion to take it out of paving, out of general. Do I have a second? Is that right? Okay. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye. All opposed signify by no. Motion carries. All right, other business. If y'all remember, we had a meeting on pay scales. And y'all went through that, and I guess Jim and myself and the department heads kind of want to know, do y'all have any feelings where we need to go, or do you, I'm sure we're going to meet again, but do y'all have anything you want to, one suggestion maybe is that if you have some things that you want to look at or something, email Jim that information and let him look at it, and where you're technically, we're not violating sunshine law because you're sending it to Jim. We're kind of where y'all want us to go.
Or we can get back together and meet.
Or we get back together, y'all kind of tell us where y'all want to go with this thing. I think the department head gave you their wish list and on that, and I've listened to some of y'all talk about things you like and don't like, and I think we just need to kind of see where y'all want us to go, because we eventually got to plug it in the budget somewhere to see where we're at.
Yeah. We probably need to get together again. I kind of feel like we do. Michael didn't get a chance to come, and it'd just be good if maybe we're all get our heads together again.
Okay. As far as the calendar, we can meet as early as the 16th, which is a week from tonight. Or we can meet on the 20th, the 21st, or the 23rd. I don't know what everybody's got scheduled, don't know what else is going on in the community that may cause conflicts. So that's,
16's fine with me.
it just comes a week from tonight.
Wait till tonight.
Don't have anything that's fine with me.
I'll have to check that out. We're going somewhere next couple of weeks. I don't know exactly what day we'll leave, so I have to have some packing on there.
Okay. Mayor, I'll be out of town next week.
23rd.
I think we're all right.
I think
I think y'all guys done your damage.
Yeah.
Just offer me
Then you don't mind helping out, but I think y'all got
So,
done
work
your damage.
session for us, really.
Spring break
But we
is the
might have to
following
talk.
weekend.
And also too, before we post that out,
Last week of the month.
Spring break's the last week of the month,
The 20th.
the
No,
20th.
yeah, we don't need to do their spring
So
back.
that's last week.
It's the 27th,
Oh, 27th.
I believe.
Yes, it is.
27th to 31st, correct?
Okay, so that week's probably out for most of
You know, also, just suggestion, if y'all got anything y'all want to add to this work session, if there's some topic you want to bring up or something, please email Jim so we can put it on the agenda when we push it out to the public, so the public knows what we're talking about. if y'all got, you could be anything doing with this building, we're doing this work on the building, or any of the grants we're applying for, or anything. You just, if you got something you want put on the agenda for a work session to talk about, let's do that. But technically, we need to have that on that agenda. So people do.
Really, being a work session, we're not in session, it really doesn't have
To
to.
do, but we still need, it could, I still think it needs to be better on some issues people like to, if
But
it's
because
something.
we're gonna be in Nashville, some of us first of the week, I'm really gonna need to send a paper tomorrow afternoon. So,
So to get, plus we, plus we probably need, when we get back from Nashville, there's gonna be a lot of stuff
We want to talk about.
we want to talk about from what Nashville and state share taxes and things like
Well, it's
that.
first on our minds.
so it's the 16th, what time? 5:30?
5:30 is good.
What are yours?
5:30 on the 16th,
That's next weekend,
next Thursday.
next Thursday.
Michael, does that work?
It'll work,
Okay. Chief, you got anything?
Well, I just want to announce that I told you the other night, but the Governor's Violent Crime Initiative, we were scored and approved to do the fundings for the radios for our cars and our truck, or our cars and our portables, so hopefully we'll get those.
Brent?
Just say congratulations to the Chester County boys basketball team.
Woo-hoo, yes,
Bring back that state trophy.
that's right.
Derek?
We have that line on 45 that's kind of across from Lonnie Cobb. We have made that more under the 45. We've got the water line that goes north and south from that point, and we've got 4 fire hydrants at that location for where the storage building and all that is. All of that's complete, it's been tested, we've sampled it. We've moved those customers over to that line so that we don't have multiple service lines going under the highway there that might leak in the future. So that's all in service now.
Chief? Sorry. You? Diane?
Yeah, go ahead.
Back in December, we brought it up that we were going to do the COVID leave for anybody who hadn't used any COVID leave. Up to, if they hadn't used any, they had 40 hours based on the new CDC recommendations, and that ends the end of this month. We've had, I don't think we've actually had anybody, I don't recall, that actually used any. We've had people out with COVID that had to go into their sick time because they already used COVID previously. So I guess we need to either end the COVID leave now or extend it another, whatever you decide to do, another 3 months or another quarter.
And it would only apply to those that have not already used the pool.
And then, like I said, we changed the pool from 80 to 40, 1-1.
I'm good with this continuing on practice. It's gonna be the ones that haven't been able to use it.
This is common for newer people that don't have enough time, any time built up.
You can run 3 more
Run it, do it on a quarterly basis,
Take every
so
quarter.
I'll make a motion that we extend it another 90 days.
So motion extended 90, have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, signify by no. Motion carries. Anything else there? Alicia? Michael?
No, sir.
I just want to thank the police department and public works and utilities for the fighting the wind, and trees. The only big question we want to know is where is the raccoon?
That's right there.
The tree that fell at Street Hardman, while they were cleaning the raccoon, and it was in the hole looking at everybody.
Oh.
And when Street Hardman came back, we don't know where it's at. That is what happened to it.
Homelessness now.
Yeah, that was the question, where's it at? Now, Carter, y'all guys did a great job, I had to clean the street, cleaned up quick. Chief did good, blocking traffic and dealing with it, we appreciate it. Fire department, had to get out and do some very cutting trees or traffic control, so appreciate y'all guys doing what y'all have to do. If not, if anybody else has anything they want to add, if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.